So, you could say if you do this, you kind of have to work deals at times with people. Have any of you ever been in a position like that? I need you to pull a double today because Johnny called out, and you're kind of on the fence. I'll get you out of here as soon as I can. I'll willing to work. You pull next Friday. It happens all the time. Frequently. I worked with. I'd say in my course of my career, I've had over easily 2,500 line employees working for me over my 20 years, and every day is like walking into just some type of fire going on, and having to piece together an operation because people aren't there. So you find this happening a lot. Connection power is using someone else's legitimate power. For example, I might make a connection with somebody, using a boss's power, the ability for this person to line me up with this person. Career services is really good with that. Like, whether you know it or not, in career services, they could be a really good friend of yours if you're doing the right stuff. Where they can put you in contact with top people at IHG, Disney, places like that. That's connection power. So, on the organizational chart, career services, they kind of fall somewhere in the middle, but talk about real connection power, and I can get you in contact with so-and-so, Peabody, whatever the case may be. That's what we're talking about, connection power. I can get your resume in the right people's hands. Charismatic power is power that comes, makes people attracted to you. Charismatic power is working with somebody and throw the question back to you. What would you say is charisma? Somebody's charismatic. Yeah. Right. Everybody else? It's how you come across. You're confident. You're charismatic. You're able to people want to be around you. So that's one thing when you're managing, leading. It's not just because of the title on your shirt, whatever the case may be. Is people you take it general and
Different might go into like their personality, like when you meet them.
Well, it's everything about your personality. It's you're approachable. You're genuine with people, and you go up and you ask them how they're doing every day, and you take a genuine interest in them as a person. That's charismatic. They want them, and they feel comfortable talking to you, and they want to talk to you. And if you do that, and if you ask them, "Can you do this for me?" It's no problem because you're not a jerk. I told you before, previous. Nobody wants to work for jerks. The jerks are people who have that, use coercive power and power of the title in order to get things done. Nobody wants to work for them. That's not the people you want to work for. Information power is the ability to obtain and share information. Biggest thing I've seen from this is when working in corporate environments is working with executive assistants and people who can get you in contact with their boss, can make connections for you. A lot of times, executive assistants and are the people that you want to be in contact with and make sure that you're there every day greeting them, because if you need something done, it's not necessarily the top person, but the person who knows them very well. And then expert power comes with the knowledge, experience, and expertise. If you're an expert in your field, you have power at work because people are going to come to you whenever they have, if you help solve problems. Our job as managers is basically to solve problems and to make shifts run at the introductory supervisory level. So expert power is a great power to have. That and going back to charismatic information, you want to be able to. It's not just the title on your business card that gives you power. Some of those powerful people are not the people you see in the face of the organization. It's behind the scenes people. It's like the chief of staff for a president, for an executive. Increasing your power base. This is important from your standpoint at work. Is you don't work in a silo. A lot of people work in silos. They focus on just their operation and what they're doing. You need to be able to spread your power base out and be able to network and be able to build your network at your job and beyond. It's not just about the job that you're at. Keep this in mind. It's about outside. That's where your LinkedIn comes in. I told you before I have about 5,000 people on LinkedIn over the last 9 years because after I meet everybody that I meet, I send them a request within 2 days. It was great meeting you. That's been building up a good network over time. You need to do that because if you're just focused on your job and where you're at, what happens? What could happen? What's that?
Lose your job and maybe
You
another
lose your job. Then what happens? Where do you go? What's that?
LinkedIn.
Go to LinkedIn. They have, you probably see a lot on LinkedIn. They have open for opportunities, things like that. It's important to build your network outside of work, but it's also important to build your power-based network as well. It's important to meet, like Marta said, talking about the janitors that are where she was teaching. It's important to know everybody because believe it or not, it could be that person that wherever they are on the organizational chart, everybody fills an important role. Most important that you're going to find in most organizations is engineering. Some of the when something breaks or IT, who do you go to? Because those are people you want to make sure. Always made sure holiday time, a little something there, and it's something I don't get from a lot of people. So they know, like you call them up, hey, I'm in a bad situation now. They're right there, and that's where charismatic power comes. That's what that's all about. It's about not just being that that jerk with a name tag. It's that when people, if they need help, are they going to want to help that person? No, they're going to want to help the person who goes out of the way for other people. Going back to LinkedIn for a second, it's writing good recommendations for people, and it's not just about you. That's what you have to think about in your career. And it took me a lot of years to get to that point where I was focusing on how do I get better, what do I do to get better, and it's really about making your teams better and about helping other people succeed. You should want to see other people be successful. A lot of people aren't happy with that. That's where you get a lot of just mindless chatter and things like that. Have you seen people like that? They hate other people's success. You don't want to be that person. Politics, everyone says they don't want to work in the political, work with office politics, but it's part of the business. You're a part of it regardless if you want to be or not. So you need to know how to play certain games, and they are games, but really they're not if you're just doing the right thing at all times. We talk about reciprocity. So that's a game to me. You do something for somebody else, so I owe you one, or whatever that owe you one's going to be. That's usually something that isn't good. But so it's making sure you're doing the right thing at all times, behaving ethically. If someone's ever breaking the law at work, you have an obligation to tell somebody, whether you're an employee, whether you're a line level employee, supervisor, manager, whatever the case may be, you need to report that. On the flip side of that coin is no one should ever ask you to do anything bad or illegal or against the rules either. Once they have you, if you're ever a manager and they have you and they know you, Tim leaves with office supplies all the time, you're done, okay? You have to make sure you are above reproach on every level. Because your employees know, I've seen managers who were dating line level employees, which we'll get to in a few minutes, and everybody knows about it. And they know that they don't have to listen to this guy. They know they can tell people who are a farce from people who aren't. Now, if there is unethical behavior, you have to alert. If it's illegal, if something really bad where it's drugs or something like that, or something very bad, going to the police is one thing. If it's not illegal, talk to management about it. If management isn't able to help you with your problem, you have to go to human resources. Have any of you ever went to human resources with an employee or with an issue on either a supervisor or a fellow employee? Okay. It was
Well, mine was like far as like bartending, because like at the farm, it's a lady that runs the suite. Like I didn't know that she could drink wine and like beer stuff, but I felt uncomfortable serving her because she's on the clock just like I'm on the clock. So I went to the HR and I let them address towards her that I'm not comfortable serving her if she got administration. So I'd rather her serve herself other than to follow back on me.
No, because the minute you do something like that and you serve them, other employees know
Yeah.
She serves, you know, if you want to serve a drink, if you want to drink on the job, you pour your own drink.
That's why they.
And if she spreads your job or you feel anything like that, you go to HR. I've had it where, when working in New York City, where my bosses, I mean, it was a terrible, terrible work environment. You know, there was people walking out the door with things. There was threats. You know, it was pretty bad behavior at work. And I went to Human Resources in Philadelphia, reported the problem on my boss. Turns out my boss and some other VP at the company were in business together. It was a bad scene. I ended up going and switching to another unit where I met my future wife, and it all kind of worked out pretty well. And we'll get to that in a minute too, about some place they don't like having workplace relationships. And you ever work in a place that does not allow it? Well, mine didn't allow it either. But I like Marta more than I like my job. Now, company theft is not always big items. It can be small items as well, like pens, pencils, office supplies. It's also theft of time, and Ms. Flohr talked about that earlier. When you're at work, you have to be working. Okay, it's easy to get sidetracked by your cell phone or whatever the case may be, or surfing the internet for, you know, that's waste time. It's theft of time. Also, what you talk about is clocking in for other people. The moment you do that, you've lost your integrity. Okay, it's not good. Or if you're a manager and you're doing shady things, it's not good.